This news update is brought to you by...
Everyone's looking for more space.
How many pairs of shoes do you need?
Closet space.
Circle again, I think I see one.
Parking space.
And that is how Pythagoras' theorem works, understand?
Even headspace. But when it comes to data storage, MyCloud from Lime has plenty of room for you. Upgrade to a Lime data plan of 500 megs or more and get 3 gigs of MyCloud data storage free. It's great for storing photos, music, and much more. So don't delete it. Store it on MyCloud from Lime. It's the only space to be.
Upgrade to Lime! Welcome to the Barbados Today Evening Update for Friday, January 30th, 2015. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Thanks for joining us. Our top story, it's payday for John Griffiths, the man who was owed $210,000 by House Speaker Michael Carrington. Griffith tells Barbados Today that his lawyer, Kamal Collymore, received the funds today, but he was unsure of the amount. Carrington honored the debt some days after the story broke that he had failed to pay Griffiths the balance owed from the sale of his late aunt's property at Darrells Road, Christchurch. The Speaker came under intense public scrutiny for his part in the 14-year-old civil case. Griffith also tells Barbados Today he is disappointed that it took so long to get the matter settled, but he's pleased that it's coming to an end.
I can't give you all the details because my lawyers is looking into it, and there's also interest to be added on to it, and all of the final details. I'm very pleased that at least it's coming to an end. A settlement is it's going to be settled shortly. If all the details is to all satisfaction, that's it.
Meanwhile, Nicholas Alleyne, who claimed that he was owed $9,500 by former St. Michael Northwest candidate for the Barbados Labour Party, Gregory Nicholls, got his wish today. Nicholls fully paid the outstanding sum one day after the matter became public. Alleyne claimed that the money stemmed from a $15,000 loan to Nicholls, but in an interview with Barbados Today, the lawyer said that the money was a campaign donation which was given to him ahead of the February 2013 general election. Alleyne says he is now preparing to give his side of the story and says he will abandon the case against Nicholls. But when contacted, Nicholls, an attorney, refused to make any further comment on the matter. In other news, a parliamentarian is recommending the formation of a new agency specifically to fund university education. Independent Senator Alwyn Adams says this will reduce the dependence on government and allow students to accept more responsibility for funding their own education.
What people would see is a degree of fairness and equity. And that is that in this world, you don't get anything really free. And the fact, the economic necessity is that the government cannot pay. And if the government cannot pay, and you simply ask students to pay, the persons who are least able to pay would be denied entry into the university. And that is not going to happen. In fact, the opposite is going to happen. The numbers of students who would find it difficult to pay after you introduce this system would be reduced, if not eliminated at some point. And that is a major point of the thing.
Senator Adams, a former secondary school principal, admits that his suggestion will require widespread consultation, and he acknowledges that the government has not held enough public discussions on financing tertiary education as it had promised.
I think that a bit more time and discussion should have taken place to make sure that you have done it right, or that it would only take little tweakings here and there to do that. And that is where the problem, I believe, that to the answer to your question would come, in that you're still getting this flack. Indeed, the notion of opposition would be expected, but if you went the route of having the discussion and in the end getting a consensus, it would allay most of the fears.
The Barbados Vagrants and Homeless Society is preparing a new home for its clients. Chairman of the society, Kima Safri, tells Barbados Today that the location for a 24-hour shelter has already been secured on Tudor Street in the city and is currently being prepared to be outfitted with the required features. Safri says the shelter, which will house both men and women, has already been evaluated by the Barbados Fire Service and the National Healthcare Policy and should be available by the end of next month.
If we get everything that we want donated, it will save us a lot. If not, it's going to actually take us probably about 30,000 to start up, and that would be getting beds and having the right systems in place, the security system, having the necessary doors and whatnot. But if we could get persons donating beds, if we could get persons, which is single bed, if we could get persons donating the panic door, like the exit door, different fire alarm systems and extinguishers and different stuff like that, security cameras, then we won't have to spend that large amount of money. I know it's going to take at least $5,000 to $6,000 a month to maintain in terms of keeping the place abreast, security guards and whatnot. So we're looking at definitely getting people on board, corporate sponsors on board.
To sports now, and the West Indies squad arrived in Australia today ahead of the 2015 Cricket World Cup, and the regional side is expected to get right down to their preparations ahead of the February start of the tournament. They face all rivals England in their first warm-up game at the Sydney Cricket Ground on February 9th before taking on Scotland at the same venue 2 days later. The Windies will then fly to New Zealand for their first game of the World Cup, taking on Ireland at Saxton Oval in Nelson. The squad has been placed in Group B of the ICC competition alongside Pakistan, Zimbabwe, South Africa, India, and the United Arab Emirates.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
Regionally, in Trinidad and Tobago, the Movement for Social Justice is calling for the Attorney General and the House Speaker to go. The party claims that both men have disgraced their offices and says if they don't do the honorable thing, then Prime Minister Kamla Persad Bissessar should remove them.
This is not a fly-by-night accusation, and it also is linked with Section 34 and Emailgate, because it is all tied up with the extradition or otherwise freeing of the financiers of the UNC, Messrs. Galbraith Singh and Ferguson.
He says that this latest incident involving the director of the Police Complaints Authority, David West, who alleges in statements to the High Court that 6 days before his appointment as PCA director, he was asked by Ram Logan to withdraw his witness statement in a defamation lawsuit in exchange for him being selected for the job. And last Friday, the MSJ says House Speaker Wade Mark deliberately misled the House when he claimed he received notice from the High Court about a pertinent case, a claim which the judiciary subsequently denied.
And that report from TV6 News. On the international scene in Mexico, a gas truck driver and 2 assistants were arrested today in connection with yesterday's deadly gas explosion that leveled part of the maternity hospital in Mexico City. Several people lost their lives, including babies, and several more were injured after a hose burst on the truck supplying the gas to the building. Reports say 2 of the men in custody are hospitalized and a third with less serious injuries was checked in at a hospital. And with that, we come to the end of this week's updates. We'll be back again first thing Monday morning. But until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune in to Channel 101 on Lime TV, as well as Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Please, whatever you do this weekend, do it safely.
This news update is brought to you by
Everyone's looking for more space.
How many pairs of shoes do you need?
Closet space.
Circle again, I think I see one.
Parking space.
And that is how Pythagoras theorem works. Understand?
Even headspace. But when it comes to data storage, MyCloud from Lime has plenty of room for you. Upgrade to a Lime data plan of 500 megs or more and get 3 gigs of MyCloud data storage free. It's great for storing photos, music, and much more. So don't delete it. Store it on MyCloud from Lime. It's the only space to be.